Welcome back. The U.S. government established military bases around the country in the early 1940s in preparation for World War II. Most residents adjusted to the invasion of troops, tanks, and trucks. Others did not. James Williams has more.
In the 1940s, a new musical style was taking shape. It was distinctively acoustic. Its name, bluegrass.
I love bluegrass. Oh man, I love bluegrass.
The common theme of bluegrass songs is forgiveness, something that took Fred Cryer almost 70 years to find.
Well, I was real unhappy with the government.
In 1940, the government wanted to open a military base in Vernon Parish and needed land to do it.
But we had 30 days to move. And it was just so unfair.
Fred's family dismantled their home and moved it to a site about 4 miles away. The Cryer family called that place home for just half a year.
You know the reason we moved? The government run us off again.
Fred Cryer says he's not bitter for having to give up his home twice for his country. Bitter, though, because he and the other residents were never recognized for their sacrifices.
It was a terrible way for American citizens to be treated.
Alvin Locke grew up with Fred. He says they shared good times and bad.
Hey, they didn't seem to realize the hardships they was putting us through. If they had them, I think they would appropriate more money for us to went with on account of that. That's a bad feeling the government put on me.
Fort Polk recently invited the displaced families and their relatives to a Heritage Day event at the installation. Garrison Commander Colonel David Sage says it was time for the Army to recognize the sacrifices people like Fred Cryer and Alvin Locke made for the nation.
Be told to get up and move one day, and you're going to be compensated very little for what's going on. I mean, that was a great sacrifice, and I think we're well overdue to honor that sacrifice.
Fort Polk unveiled memorial markers during the Heritage Day celebration, honoring those families.
It was just the tip of the iceberg for what the nation owes them. If you look at the base of the monuments that we erected, the phrase says that we will not forget our heritage families, for they sacrificed their homes and way of life for the sake of a nation. And I don't think that could be better captured.
Well, at least somebody recognized the fact that we did sacrifice for it. There was a sacrifice made for them to have that out there.
On the day I visited Fred, we drove to a place he hadn't seen since 1940, the site where his home once stood.
The house was probably about the end of that asphalt.
Where his memories still live.
I feel pretty sure that this is the tree that was out in front of the house that my dad had backed into with the A model.
During the Heritage Day events, Colonel Sage gave Fred a commander's coin as a small token of appreciation for what Fred endured all those years ago.
It means a terrible lot to me. I'm so proud of that.
Fred Cryer says he'll never forget how the government forced him off his land, but at least he has found forgiveness. Might make for a good bluegrass tune. James Williams, Vernon Parish, Louisiana.
Fort Polk's Cultural Resources Management Branch has been collecting and preserving the family's histories, including photographs, birth and land records, and information on grave sites. Colonel Sage hopes the Army can one day turn the program over to the local community.